Hey, everybody. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you for joining us here today. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. We were just getting set up, and for some reason, the stream wasn't working for us. But we're here, we're all set. So, welcome to 2022. I hope all of you have had a great start to your year. Just in the chat box, if you can let me know if you can hear me okay and you can see my screen, that would be incredible. And then we're going to get started momentarily. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is having an amazing start to your year. Just want to make sure that we're all set up and good to go before we dive into today's class. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're just having some challenges with the R stream here, but I think we're all set. We're all good to go. Everything looks good on our end here. Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Let's dive in and let's talk about 2021, 2022, and let's talk about your GPS. This is really the key when it comes to building wealth and planning for an incredible year. The best way to think about your goals is like a GPS. If you're going on a nice long road trip, you need to open up your GPS and put in your destination. You can't go on a road trip without a destination. You're going to be driving around clueless and you're going to end up going nowhere. And most likely, you're just going to be going in circles all over the place. So, do you have a destination in your GPS with your finances? And if the answer is no, it's okay. But by February, you need to have those numbers. You need to have your destination and you need to have a plan. So hopefully today's class will give you some encouragement and we'll run through some exercises to help you figure out your numbers so that you can really get that plan in place for you and for your family. So let's talk about the golden rules for goal setting. And before we jump into this, I want to ask you all a question. If you take a look back at 2021, how would you give yourself a grade from a scale of 1 to 10? What grade would you give yourself in terms of your financial progress? Would you give yourself an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, or a 1 to a 5? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade yourself with your financial progress in 2021? Okay, 9, great job, Jane. Monica, great. 11, I love to hear that. Okay, 4, Sophie. 8, 7, 9. Great job, Sophie. Okay, that's good to know, all right? And you need to have that number in place because, if you were a 3 or a 4, you need to push and get a 6 or a 7 for this year. Now, your life isn't going to change in just 1 year. The challenge with personal finance, I wish it was a little bit more different, but is it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of discipline, and it requires a lot of just long-term thinking. And most cases, for most of you, your life financially isn't going to have a huge transformation in just 6, 7 months. It'll take a lot of time. So that's what we're going to discuss here today. Now, focus is very important because when it comes to your New Year's resolutions, there could be a lot of different things that you're focused on. You could be your personal health, your mental health, your career, and your finances can kind of get lost in the mix with all the other things that need your attention. Now, when it comes to your goals, a lot of people think that the more goals you have, the better. And that's not always the case. It's better to have a few goals and achieve them than a ton of goals and not achieve any of them. So don't get lost in that mistake that people make of making this huge long list that never gets actually accomplished. I love this strategy from Warren Buffett. It's the 5-25 strategy. So what he says is write down your top 25 goals write them down, circle your top 5 goals, and then focus on your top 5 goals and say no to the rest. This is a great strategy because when you wake up in the morning, if you have a list of 25 different goals, it could be very discouraging and it could be very overwhelming. But if you wake up and there's only 5 goals, then you can say, you know what, I'm going to focus on this goal today or that goal. So that is the key. Now, if we're having issues with sound, let me know. I think it should be okay, but let me know if there's issues with sound in the comment section. Cheryl's mentioning that there is. Just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay and the sound is coming in well. Sound is good, 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 good. Okay. All right. So I'm not sure, Cheryl, maybe you just need to take a look at your settings and adjust that. Let's keep going here. Jim Carrey, he's got a great story. What he did is he wrote a check to himself. So he wrote a $20 million check, and it was so unattainable for him. But he wrote that down. He put it in his wallet, and he was actually the first Hollywood actor to ever get paid $20 million for Dumb and Dumber. No one ever achieved that goal. So, when it comes to goals, set a good goal for yourself. Set a high goal and visualize yourself. That's what Jim Carrey did. He said, I visualized $20 million in my bank account before $20 million ever hit my bank account. I love that story. I love sharing that. And something to keep in mind with your goals is a plane is off course 90% of the time. So your goals, your progress, your journey to financial freedom, you're going to be off course. There's going to be years that you're not going to do well, that you're going to fall behind, things that aren't going to go your way. And that's okay. That's normal. That's expected. A lot of us chase perfection. It's better to make progress over perfection. So have a goal, expect to be disappointed, expect to go off course, and that's totally fine as long as you get back on course. The great thing about a plane, even though it's off course 90% of the time, you always end up in your destination. And it's going to be the same thing with your goals. Again, another great story here, Jerry Seinfeld. His net worth is almost $1 billion. Can you believe how much money Jerry Seinfeld has earned? It's crazy. So much more than actors that are actually more popular than him and got more views than him. But, the way that he structured his deals was genius. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but for Seinfeld and some of the different things he did, that's where he made the majority of his wealth, and his deal structure was just incredible. But he does this. So Jerry Seinfeld, for those of you that don't know, he is one of the most popular comedians in the history of the world, and he writes jokes. That's what he does, and he has a rule for himself. He will wake up and he will try and spend at least 30 minutes sitting down and just writing. That's it. And when he's completed that 30 minutes, sometimes it goes longer. He sets a minimum for himself. But when he's completed that goal, he'll go to his calendar and he'll put an X on that day. And that's all he does. He just has to show up, work towards that goal, and mark an X in his calendar. And what's great about that is it kind of creates a psychology for yourself. And he has this concept of don't break the chain, that keep these days going, don't break them. And I love that from Jerry Seinfeld. Definitely something that you could do. Print out a big calendar. Each day you hit your goal, put an X. It's so strategy because it's that visual that makes this strategy so powerful. So keep it going. I do this myself. I have a big calendar, and whenever I hit my goal, I put a big X on it, and it creates that momentum. And if you break it, no worries, just the next day, make sure you keep going. And write your goals down. The Harvard Business Study, they did this really cool study where they took a look at the population and they found out 83% of the population do not have goals. 14% have a plan in mind, but they're unwritten. So they have plans in their head, but they haven't written them down. And 3% have written goals. So in the comment section, let me know which category do you fall into. Are you red, orange, or green? Green is you have written goals. Orange is you have a plan in mind, but nothing is written down on like in a journal or on pen and paper. Or are you red? You just not have any goals. So let me know in the comment section which color are you. Okay, great job. Anna says red, green, green all the way. Awesome, Monica. Red. Okay. Orange, a lot of oranges mostly. Hey, Miko, hope you're doing well, my friend. Hey, Adele. A lot of familiar faces here. Janet, good to see you. All right, great job, everyone. So you wanted to know what your color is, and all of you should be green. This isn't rocket science. It's not difficult to do. Just dedicate 30 minutes and just write down some goals. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, perfection is the enemy of execution. It's better just to have something on pen and paper. But look at this. This is blew my mind. If you have a plan, but it's unwritten, so you have something in your head, studies find that those people have a 10 times more success than those without goals. So if you're orange, you're already 10 times more successful than those that are red. Now, if you're green, look at this. You're 3 times more successful than the 14% with unwritten goals. So just by writing things down, your chances of success go through the roof. It doesn't guarantee it, but it's way higher. So what you need to do when it comes to setting goals, again, it's like a GPS. You have to get very clear on where you are today, then what your financial goals are. It's impossible to create a plan for you and your family if you're not clear on where you are today. That includes your current budget. That includes your net worth. That includes your income statement, your balance sheet, your total assets, what rate of return you're currently earning in the stock market. You need to get crystal clear on your financial position. Once you're there, then you can focus on the goals. And this is critical to do. So if you don't know your net worth right now, you don't have a good handle on your budget, and you don't know what your investments are doing, then it's impossible to set realistic and achievable goals for you and your family. You've got to get crystal clear on where you are today. So here's an example of an individual. So here's a great little worksheet that you can use for those of you that are students at Enriched Academy. In your workbook, you'll see this. So what are your goals? And this is how I would write my goals going into the new year. When do you want to retire by? So put that number in. What's your current age? How many years to retire? And how much money do you want every single month after tax to live your lifestyle? Now, the way to do this is to set different goals. The first goal is your security goal. This is kind of the bare minimum. How much do you need for bare minimum? Your rent, your car, your expenses, just to get by and survive. So once you've hit that goal, great. Then you could work towards the bigger goals, right? Like your financial freedom and some of those bigger, more audacious goals. But start with financial security, because something really magical happens when every single month you don't have to work and your bare minimum is paid for. You kind of have this freedom, and it takes a big load off your shoulders, and then you could start focusing on the bigger goals. Now, how do you get to that $4,100 a month or $50,000 a year? You have these different vehicles. These different vehicles are different income sources, right? CPP, a Canadian pension plan, old age security, your RIF, your annuity, private lending, investment properties, pension, part-time work, other. So there's this long list of different things that you could do to earn that monthly income. And don't forget about CPP OAS. That could be a few $1,000s a month for you and your family, and that can make the goal a whole lot more achievable than you thought. So here's an example, right? So this person has set their goal, and then they fill in the blank, right? So then they fill in the blank. $500 a month for CPP, $1,000 a month from RIF, $2,000 a month, $600 a month, right? So again, the goal is to have $4,100 a month of passive income, which over the year would be $49,000. Now, here's some ideas on how to achieve financial freedom faster in 2022. Buying a duplex. This is such a great strategy for so many Canadians, especially young Canadians that are looking to enter the housing market. It's really expensive right now, but if you could buy something with an upstairs and a downstairs, live in the downstairs or live in the upstairs and rent the other portion, you could take that extra money and throw it into your mortgage or invest it. There's so many different things that you could do. It's unbelievable. Relocate. This is something that's so uncomfortable for so many Canadians, but I bet you on today's workshop, there is a good portion of you that can relocate, move to a cheaper city or province, and you could be fully retired this year. I know for a fact that can happen, especially if you're able to relocate to a more affordable city or town. That's a duplex that you could rent out the downstairs. Some of you could be fully retired. Like, that's so exciting. And so you need to have an open mind. You need to make some sacrifices. To me, I would relocate in a heartbeat if I was at that point and I was ready to retire. What a great option. And I know it might be away from your family, it might be farther out, but these are the sacrifices you have to make. It's not going to be picture perfect. Number 3, work part-time in retirement. This is something a lot of people don't talk about. You could get a part-time job in retirement, whether it's consulting, whether it's blogging, or maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, whatever it is. And you can earn a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 a month that could really help you when you're in retirement. And what you can focus on is something that you're passionate about, something that brings a lot of joy into your life. A lot of people, there's actually studies that show that the sooner you stop working, the sooner you pass away, because I don't know what the science is. I just guess it's, you get bored and your mind isn't moving and you're kind of, you're just bored. So it's good to get a part-time job. We see this with a lot of real estate agents. They have this great clientele, and then they enter retirement, and they only do a few deals a year to friends and family and people that they really like, and and it's easy. It's easy work for them, and they make some money. Use equity to your advantage. This is so important, especially with the rise of house costs prices in the last year. The average Canadian household saw an increase of 20% on their home. Okay, 20%. The average house price went up. So use that equity. Borrow money. Rates are still very low. Take that money, buy a duplex. Take that money, invest it. The markets last year averaged a 27% return. And if you were in a balanced portfolio, you should have seen your investments grow by, at the very minimum, 18%. 18% is what your investments should have grown at the minimum, 15% rock bottom. So imagine borrowing money at 5% interest and to earn a 15% return. And that 5% that you could borrow, the interest that you pay is tax deductible. So use equity to your advantage. Reinvest your cash flow if you can. If you're earning money from dividends or if you're doing short-term rentals, don't take that money and put it into your pocket if you don't have to. If you could take that money and reinvest it, whether it's paying down the mortgage faster, whether it's putting it into another sort of investment, that's the best thing that you could do. Because even though you're not going to earn cash flow today, you're reinvesting that cash flow so that tomorrow that cash flow is going to be a lot more, as opposed to just taking cash flow today. Lower your monthly passive expenses. So if you have expenses right now, look to lower them. Call your service providers, negotiate your monthly fees, look at just lowering your expenses, increase your monthly passive income, right? These are different things that you could do. Now, when you do the math, if we go back here, and let me go back to this slide, let's start doing the math on this. So if you want to earn $4,100 a month, how much money do you need? There's a lot of different calculations and ways to do this, but one really simple way is to go and get a calculator. And I'm going to show you this right here. I'm going to do the math right now for everyone. 49,200. We're going to do it divided by 5%. So look at this. So if you take $49,000, which is how much money you want after tax every single year for financial security, you divide it by 5%, which is your expected rate of return, your number is going to be $984,000. So what this means is you need $984,000 earning you a 5% return to earn $49,000 a year. Okay. Now, obviously, when the rate of return gets a lot better, and 5% is really conservative, let's say 10%, then you only need $492,000. And this could be equity in your home. This could be assets, RSPs. This could be anything. And remember, this doesn't include your RIF or your CPP, OAS, and government funds. So this is a really quick, easy way to kind of get an idea of what your number's at. It's not perfect, but it's a good way to start. So as you can see, the higher your return, the less money you're going to need saved. But I would always be very careful. And yes, Melamorph, great point. What about inflation? You have to add in inflation, right? So you definitely have to do that. And if you take a look at this, 5%, let's go 8%, accounting for a 3% inflation, which recently it's been a lot higher, but historically it's been around 3%. You have to add that in. Yeah, Becca, no worries. A RIF is a registered income fund, right? So investment fund. It's basically, Becca, when your RSP at the age of 71 turns into a RIF. Okay, Amanda, great question. So Amanda asked, how many years are you basing this as far as living? Amanda, here's the best part about this calculation. This calculation assumes that you actually end up passing away with a lump sum of money. So in this example, let me refresh this. In this example, you need $615,000, earning you an 8% return. That'll make you $42,000 per year, okay? $50,000 a year. When you pass away, you're still gonna have this $615,000. You could give it to your kids, your grandkids, whatever it is. So if you want an option where you don't wanna pass away with money, you wanna to take out all this money, you can do that, and actually you'll be able to retire sooner. Okay, Susan, I just did this. This is all I Googled here. So Google has a really cool calculator. Great questions, because we're going to do a whole Q&A at the end. So let me go in here. Okay, 4-step process to setting goals. This is from Jay Seabrook. Some of you have actually seen this before. This is one of my favorite activities to do. One of the best things I learned from Jay. Number one is create a life goals list. How many of you right now, let me know in the comment section, have a sheet of paper that has all your life goals? Like you just have them one by one. Put in yes or no in the comment section. Do you have a life goal list? Awesome. Becca says, yep. Love that, Becca. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yep. Okay, so most of you do. Great job, Anna, Monica, Luis, Brett. Thanks for being engaged in the comment section. I always appreciate that. It's nice to see everyone in here. Okay, so that is step number one, create a life goal list. That's critical. So I want to show you what Jay's looks like. Jay's a little bit of a wild man. He's kind of adventurous. So he's got some very audacious and very adventurous goals that I wouldn't have on my list. But they're really cool. You know, kayak the Mackenzie River, pay mom's mortgage off. That's beautiful. He actually did that one. I'm not, yeah, he did that one last year, which was really cool. But like take a motorcycle trip from South America to Alaska. He did that. He posted some pictures on Facebook, which was cool to see. Take a boat down the Amazon River. So these are some really unique goals, and they're not right or wrong. This is just in his goals. Um, then what you're going to do is you're going to create your yearly goal card, because a lot of people ask, okay, what should my goals be this year? Well, your goals should be based on your life goals. So you need to go look at your life goals, and you could be like, okay, what are some realistic goals that I want to hit this year? This is where you get your yearly goals, your life goals. And yeah, then you create a card. So I love doing this, and Jay does it as well. He uses a nice piece of paper and then he laminates it. He goes to Staples and then he laminates it. But like, these are his goals for the year. What you could do, I'm a fan of this. I like to get a really well made little card that I kind of keep on my desk. And you could go to Etsy, you could go to Staples, and you can make it really professional, and it looks really good. Let me try to find you an example. Let me see here. I was just looking at this the other day, and they're just so cool to have. I'm not sure if I could find it. Okay, here we go. So this is one on Etsy you could buy, like this, right? Like it's just kind of like a nice little card. You're gonna pay a little bit of money. I'm okay with that. It's not the end of the world. This, you could put like a quote on there and just put it in your wallet, right? And when you're going through a tough time or in the morning, you want to pull this out and read it, and it's nice to have. It's a little bit nicer than just kind of like a piece of paper. So that's something that you could do. I found it challenging because my goals are always changing throughout the year. So I end up ordering like 50 of these throughout the year, and it ends up being like a lot of money. So I just stick with a piece of paper. On the second side of your goals, these are the behaviors that you need to hit your goals, okay? Because very rarely is it that you're going to write down goals and then it's going to come to fruition, right? It's usually the habits and the belief system that really helps you achieve your goals. So what are the habits? What are the beliefs that you need to adopt to achieve your financial goals? You know, some of you may just need to get out of that victim mindset. You need to get out of and have a more abundance belief that you deserve belief. You know, you're worthy of financial freedom. You're limitless. You know, what are some of these beliefs that you have? And I know it kind of sounds cheesy and corny, but you know, who you want to be is, you are who you want to be. It's inside of you. Financial freedom is inside of you. You just have to kind of believe in yourself, and you need to meditate on it and manifest it within you. And that's the key. That's helped me so much, just manifesting, believing, visualizing. And that's really the first step. You need to feel like these goals are already accomplished. And that's another talk. That's more of a, you know, mindset, meditation type talk, but really important. Read and update your goals every single week. This is critical because it's easy to write goals, and then all of a sudden March comes along and you're like, what were my goals again? Like I totally forgot. Like I don't even know what's going on. And then it just turns into another one of those years. Oh, just 2022 is another one of those years. So you got to read and update your goal card weekly. And that's why I like having it in the wallet. You know, like you got your little wallet here, and then you pull out, you know, you pull that out. You know, imagine this is my health card right now, but you pull it out and then you just read it every single morning. You're like boom, 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 and then you go there, right? I have it in my Evernote. So let me see if I can. I'm not going to show you it, but I have it in my Evernote, which is it's like Microsoft Word, and I'll show you here actually. And then I pull it up and I try to read this. I don't do it every day, but I try to do it at least once a, you know, once once a week at the very, very least, right? So like here's an example of my morning message. So I have a morning message to myself, and like I put that down, um, right? So that's kind of the other half of the goal card, and then you have the other half, which is the goal. So put it somewhere where you could see it every single day, and repeat these steps at the start of each year. Then what you want to do is track your completed goals, right? So as you're hitting these goals, you want to track them and make sure that you achieve them. So as going into the new year, another really important thing is just commitment, right? Like a lot of us, we're just not committed to our goals. We say we want to achieve financial freedom, but we never actually do. So are you committed to making 2022 your best financial year? Let me know in the comment section. If you're committed, if you're ready to rock, right? Like how are you feeling? For me, like this year is limitless. That's how I want to feel this year. I want to feel like I'm limitless, that I could do whatever I put my mind to. I could learn whatever I want to. And that's the term that I'm going through with this year. So let me know how you guys are feeling. Are you feeling limitless? Are you feeling proactive? Are you feeling like this is going to be your best year? Are you committed? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you focused? What's that word that you're going into this year with? I love Janet, ready and fearless. Awesome. Jody says 100% committed. Oh, I love this, Miko. Yeah, I love Miko. Miko's such an awesome guy. If you're in sales, Miko is really smart with sales. Just a great guy. Oh, I love the gap, Monica, feeling good. I like this, Wilson. Yeah, let's feel good. Let's just feel good. When you're on this journey to financial freedom, life is too short to be in a state of suffering and struggle. Guys, you can be financially free and enjoy the process of doing so. Be happy. Like, you don't have to suffer to achieve your goals. That's one of the biggest misconceptions of our time, this kind of hustle culture, which isn't bad, but you can enjoy the process. You can actually enjoy the struggle and enjoy the challenges. And that's really cool. When I realized that, life just became so easy. Life became so effortless. Like, yes, you're going to go through a lot of challenges. When you have goals, it's inevitable things are not going to go well. It's inevitable that you're going to hit roadblocks and challenges. Like, it will happen, I promise you. But that's okay as long as you're present, as long as you treat those challenges in the moment and you don't overthink and you deal with them, you're fine. Remember, 90% of the time, a plane is off course. You are going to get off course. You will get discouraged. Take a deep breath and just come back to the moment and just keep going. Take one step at a time. Yeah, love that, Monica. Okay, amazing, amazing, amazing. So guys, thank you for that, and I hope you enjoyed this quick session just on goal setting. This is kind of more of an inspiration talk. We kind of gave you some resources. It's not as content heavy as some of our other classes, but we're doing weekly webinars 2022 and a lot of great stuff. For those of you that are really committed, like you're like, I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want 2022 to be my best financial year. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I would highly encourage you to get a coach, because a coach is someone that's going to really make sure that you not only set your goals, but you actually achieve your goals, that you actually work towards them, that you actually accomplish them. Let's not make 2022 another one of those years that comes and goes, that nothing changes. Let's actually get it done. Let's make it happen. Here's what's going to happen. We're not there yet, but the second week of January, a lot of us are going to get discouraged and we're going to continue to go down the same path that we've been on. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a change, expecting to make this a different year. If this is really going to be your year, you have to do things differently. You're going to have to make a change, whether it's your habits, your belief, your goals, your mindset, your education. And a coach is great because a coach is someone that they have gone to where you want to go, and they're just going to tell you how to get there. They're going to pull you to your goals and teach you step by step, do a lot of the work, show the guidance. That's really the goal. And the challenge for most Canadians for 2022 is they're going to be caught in the same cycle. They're going to work 40, 50 hours a week to earn money. And when you earn this money, That money is gone after you're paying your bills, your debt, your no growth savings and investments. And this is what stresses so many Canadians out. This is what creates so much just unhappiness in the lives of Canadians, is when you feel like you're not making progress. You feel like you're not getting closer to your goals, and everything around us is getting more and more expensive. Housing, transportation, food. It's not fun to be caught in this cycle. And that's the goal, is to break out of this cycle. How do you do it? Warren Buffett said it best. He said, you will work until the day that you die unless you learn how to make money while you sleep. This is it. Period. Bottom line, end the story. Are you making money while you sleep? Do you have investment properties? Do you have stocks? Do you have crypto? Are you earning passive income? And if you're not, you're still stuck in that cycle. What does financial freedom look like? This is it. Some of you have seen this before, but we will continue to show this until you fully internalize this and you fully understand the power of living your life where you have money come in whether or not you work. There is so much freedom with that. It's just, I can't explain how great of a feeling it is to not have to worry about money and have money come into your bank account each month, whether or not you work. So the money that you earn buys assets that create a passive income that fuels your lifestyle. Now, when you're earning passive income, reinvest that into more assets to create more passive income. Key right here. And you would be so amazed by what you're able to create when you don't have to work for money, where you're not in the survival mode, where you can wake up each month and be like, okay, my minimum expenses are taken care of. Now I want to focus on what I want to focus on, not what's going to pay me the most amount of money or make me the most, or I have to stay in this job. And when you're in that zone, that is a fun, inspiring, and very lucrative place to be because you're creating. For those of you that are new, this is Enriched Academy. We've created this great platform to help Canadians be financially free. We went out there and interviewed the top financial experts in the country, and we just asked them, how do Canadians achieve financial freedom? We've created these incredible tools that will help you with things like tracking your net worth, growing your passive income, planning your retirement. This is a net worth tracker, and like I talked about, this is the first step to being financially free, getting clear on where you are today. So with this tool, you fill in your numbers, where do you want to be? You can take a look at your progress, and then it will help you create a plan to get there. Really, the magic happens is in these video courses. These are different financial literacy courses on important topics from stocks, TFSAs, passive income, you name it. And we've broken it down and made it really simple, really easy to use, and it's really fantastic. The production of this is through the roof. It's like Netflix for financial literacy. Really incredible. So that's the education. But remember, guys, education is just one step. The first step to being financially free. I know so many Canadians that they keep reading books. They read. And I ask them, how many books do you read this year? Like 15. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. But they haven't made any progress with their finances, or the progress that they made was very minimal, because the challenge for these people is they have a really tough time taking that education and putting it into action. Education is the first step. It's usually the easier step. It's taking action that's a little bit more challenging. So education is the first step to transforming your financial life. And this is what we learned at Enriched Academy. Again, so many people coming to our events that kept coming, but they weren't making much progress. And that's why we created coaching. That's why we created a program where it's like, okay, let's create a plan for you. Let's get an expert to guide you. And let me just tell you what to do. That's what a coach is. Imagine me and you for the next 6 months. We just got on a call every few weeks, and I told you exactly what to do. I analyzed your situation. I held your hand. If you have questions, you ask me. That's what coaching is all about. And again, the challenge with a lot of Canadians trying to do it on their own is they get nervous or scared, they lack discipline and motivation, or they encounter roadblocks. They hit roadblocks. So whichever bucket you fall into, it's okay, but that's just the reality of humans. It's just human nature. So what does coaching look like? 6 one-on-one virtual meetings with a financial expert, customized financial freedom plan. It's 100% personalized to you. It's an accountability system to ensure you take action, financial foundation that will pay you forever, and lifetime access to great tools, courses, which is really phenomenal. Why does financial freedom coaching work? And just coaching in general. If there's any area of your life that you want to get better at, get a coach. You want a nice, fit, healthy body, get a coach. You want to get better in your career, get a coach. You know, you want to learn anything, get a coach. That's why sports teams have coaches. That's why we have leaders. You need leadership. You need mentors. It's just a no-brainer. So if you do want to book a free call, there's a link in the chat box. It's a totally free call. And during the call, you're going to get some ideas. You're going to get some inspiration on what you need to do. Whether or not you join the coaching program, you're going to leave that call feeling really good. So if you're stressed out, you feel like you should be doing better financially, book that call. The worst case scenario, you don't get anything out of it. Best case scenario, 1 or 2 ideas can just change your life. I love what Laura said here. I love my coach. She's changed my financial outlook tremendously. Amazing, Laura. Anyone else in the coaching program, I'd love to hear your feedback and your experience. That would be great. Awesome, Lynn. Amazing. Dedicated financial expert, bias free, which is amazing. Focus on every area of your finances, and you're going to get lifelong impacts and results. As we have updated numbers from our coaching. So this is the return on investment that a lot of you are thinking, which is great. Like, okay, if I invest in this, what's the return? From June 2021 to December 2021, the last 6 months, the average net worth increase has been $66,000. Net worth increased 27 points. Total fee saved 1.5%. Decrease in monthly spend $1,203. Decrease in credit card debt, an increase in passive income. Like, we track the results, you know, and this is what progress looks like. Guys, if you haven't seen these numbers in your finances, then it's worth doing a call, because if you continue down the same path, you're not going to be able to see the true potential. You know, all it takes is 1 or 2 ideas that can really have a huge impact. So as I mentioned before, we have a free assessment meeting. During the call, it's a very simple 4-step call. It's 45 minutes. Like, this is a value add free call. We're going to evaluate your situation, figure out what are the root causes holding you back, set goals for your future, and design a path forward for you and your family. And these are 4 great questions to ask if you're not sure if the call would be a good fit. Do you want to be aware of your different options? Maybe you're doing a lot of things right, but there's 1 or 2 ideas that can help you make more progress. Do you want to achieve your goals faster? Do you need help with taking action? And do you feel like you should be doing better financially? So if you answered yes to any of these, schedule a free call. Why not? There is limited availability. We only have 2 individuals doing these calls, so do book a call today. And what we'll do here, we'll do a Q&A. So if you do have any questions, please do take the time to ask them here. We have 15 minutes or so. I want to say thank you so much for attending today's workshop. I hope you just have an incredible 2022. I hope you have a great financial year. I hope it's filled with a lot of happiness, a lot of safety, and just a lot of abundance for you and your family. Whether the abundance is from money or not, I hope you just feel good going into 2022. Start small, just do 1 step at a time, and you're going to be amazed by what's going to happen 2023 this year if you just take 1 step at a time. So again, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and we'll answer some questions if there are any. Awesome, Laura. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the kind words. Yes, I do remember doing real estate presentations. I miss those days, Laura, because COVID, we don't do a lot of in-person presentations anymore. Um, so that's something that I can't wait to do again. Awesome, Poppy booked. Okay, Amanda asks, can you explain how long the money should last based on how long we live? I didn't quite understand it earlier. Okay, Amanda, so when it comes to figuring out how much money you need to have to be able to retire, it, it's a lot, there's a lot of different ways to calculate this number. So there's a few questions we have to ask you in order to figure out the best strategy for you. So Amanda, do you want money to give away to charities or your kids? Or are you okay passing away with no money? Like you've just used it all. That will help you retire earlier. That will help you need a less money. So it really depends on your situation. The metric I talked about before, let's go back to it. So let's say you want $50,000 a year in income, and you're going to get an 8% return, which accounts for inflation. So in this case, Amanda, you need $625,000. So let me know if you're following me. If you have $625,000, that's earning you an 8% return each year, you are going to make $50,000 a year. So you could pull out your calculator, do the math, 625,000 times 8% equals $50,000. So each year, you're going to be making $50,000. Now, this balance of $625,000 isn't going down. It's just staying there. It's just staying at $625,000. So when you pass away, you're still going to have this $625,000 because you weren't using that money. You were using the return and the growth of that money. Now, if your strategy wants to be to use some of this 625,000, you're going to have to use a different calculation, something a little bit more sophisticated. Yes, they are, Poppy. Yes, they are replayable. Hey, Roger, hope you're doing well. Absolutely. We're going to do more classes like this in the future. And more passive income classes. Miko asks, what are some of your goals for the year? Yeah, great question, Miko. I have a ton of goals, a ton of investing goals. You know, a ton of, one of my big goals for this year is to learn more about options trading and to do more stock trading. I did a lot last year, but to really dive into that. Real estate's a big goal. I have a couple pre-construction condos that are looking to close, so I'm looking to do that, and a lot of great career goals. We're working on making Enriched Academy, a household name, and working with organizations and companies to make Enriched Academy something that's offered as a benefit for a lot of employees. So very excited about that. A lot of health goals this year. But even though I have all these, I'm taking a look at, if I look at them, it's no more than 5. No more than 5 goals. 1 health goal, 1 career goal, 1 relationship goal, 1 financial goal, and that's already 4, right? So that's how I like to break it down, nice and easy. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for attending today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some value from it. We're doing more classes. The next one, Essential Roadmap to Secure Your Financial Future. That's Tuesday, January 11th. I'm going to be doing that class. We're going to talk about net worth and things along those lines. So again, I hope everyone enjoys your 2022, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.